Hello, Colin. Thanks for letting me interview you.
No problem.
So, you're a competitive Gears of War player. Now, how did that start?
It started back when I was probably around 12 when I first got the first game of Gears of War. And ever since then, I've had a love for the game. But I've only really started playing professionally about a year or two ago.
Nice. Now, I hear this term often with anybody who's a pro player, esports. Can you explain or go a little bit more into detail what exactly that is?
Yeah. Esports is basically a league for competitive players to meet up and have tournaments, kind of like the NFL or the NBA. E League has pro players. They have the stars. They have the up and comings. And it's just like any other sport, only electronics.
Sports for the nerds.
Sports for
Good.
the nerds.
I may be a little bit harsh, but it's because I love it too. So, out of curiosity, when did you start playing video games altogether? Like, when did all of your video gaming passion begin?
I'd say when I was really young, probably around 5 or 6 years old. I was real sick, and I had to be taken to the hospital, and they put me under with that bubblegum anesthetic, and I was just out of it. Um, and my mom came in with a Red Ruby Pokemon game for me to play on a Game Boy she had just got me, and I guess that's what really started it.
Nice. So, why do you enjoy playing games competitively? So, why do you enjoy being competitive in games, like getting money for it, over playing games just for fun or just for entertainment?
Well, you know what they say: if you're good at something, you should be getting paid for it. Um, I do like playing games. I play games in my spare time for fun, but with Gears, it's just something different. Something drives me, and the fact that I'm going up against the best of the best and getting paid to do so sounds like a dream come true.
Hmm. Have you gotten any kind of sponsorship deals or anything like that to earn a little bit more money? Or are you just playing, you go to tournaments, you get the money, you win?
Right now, since I'm not affiliated with a clan, I'm kind of just making the money I win from tournaments.
Mm,
So as soon as those wins start rolling in, I think the sponsorships will roll in too.
good. Uh, so did you ever think that video games would become such a big part of your life that you'd be able to go out and actually make money doing what you love?
No one grows up, dreaming to be an esports player. At least no one I've heard of. But at a certain point, I realized, hey, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Fascinating. Now, is there anything else you wish to talk about Gears of War? Like, do you have any other passions, or is Gears of War just your one single passion out of all the video games that you played so far?
By passions, do you mean other video games that I play?
Yeah, would you say you play Gears of War because you're good at it? Do you play Gears of War because you're really passionate or love it? Or do you play Gears of War because you know you can make money off of it?
All three.
All three.
All three. I love the game. I'm good at it. And yeah, if I can get paid for playing a game that I love and that I'm good at, why wouldn't you?
Hey, Colin. See, you're just playing your favorite game, Gears of War.
Mm-hmm.
Here, if I ask you a couple questions while you play.
No problem. Go ahead.
Okay, so I wanted to ask this since that interview the other day. What is this game about? What is the story behind it?
Story behind Gears of War is that there are creatures called locusts that rose from the ground, and it's basically about humanity's fight against them.
Wow. So, every single story out there. What makes this one so special to you, anyway?
The first three games, they were basically my childhood. Um, and I love the story to each and every one of them. And as a film major, story is pretty important to me.
So, now that we talked about a little bit about the story, what character shown the most to you, or what is your favorite one out of the whole series?
Definitely the Coltrane.
The Coltrane? Who's that?
The Coltrane is his name. Real name is Augustus Cole, but his nickname's the Coltrane. He's a retired trash ball player, which is like rugby and football's version in this game.
Why does he have the nickname the Coltrane?
Cause wherever he goes, he always screams like "Woo!" and yeah, you really can't stop him when it comes to either killing grubs or when it comes to trash ball.
Must be a hell of a party when that guy comes. So, why do you love this game so much?
I like the mechanics of the game, and like I said before, I love the story, and the fact that it has a great, awesome, fun multiplayer along with it is part of the reason I love this game.
That's very good. I do want to ask this. Would you be willing to go pro in any other game if you had the chance?
Maybe like FIFA or NHL, but I'm nowhere near as good in those games as I am in Gears. So that's a dream for another day.
And finally, do you have any tips for future gamers out there?
My tip to any up-and-coming gamer is definitely practice, practice, practice. Just like any other sport, esports doesn't come without time and effort put in.
Would you say this is a single-player person game or a team game?
This is definitely a team game. It can be single, but like with everything else, you're better when you're working as a team.
That is very true. Ooh. Is there any strategies that help make this game more enjoyable?
Some strats to enjoy this game, definitely wall bouncing, which I'll show you here. It's where you bounce. In this game you can slide into cover, and wall bouncing is where you repeatedly slide, except you do it fastly to avoid being hit by bullets.
Oh, I see.
Another thing is the strafe, which is like, say you're running up, just run in a random direction, and here I'll show you. Oh, well that didn't work. Ooh, oh, you see that? You can strafe on the ground if you really want to.
But any last words before that?
Oh, look at this.
So, Colin, this is the end of our interview. I'm about to leave. Do you have anything you want to say to future generations of Gears of War players, to future generations of possible pro players, or to anybody who wants to get better at the game called Gears of War?
Well, to all the people who are currently progressing this sport, thank you on behalf of myself and all the other players. It's a very progressive sport. It's up and coming. So any up and coming players, you're hopping on the right time. You keep at it, and I guarantee you'll end up like either me or one of the other hundreds of pro players out there.